Okay, ready? Check.
We've had a driving rainstorm make its way through the plains, and it definitely is going to be a factor here this afternoon at Empower Field at Mile High in Denver. Just a short time ago, sounds loud enough to reverberate across the Rockies. They're ready for football in Denver as the Broncos get set to do battle with the Seattle Seahawks. Fall is in the air, and the NFL season is in full swing, and we're underway here in Week 4.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
Now the Broncos are going to take a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Now we've got whistles and movement up front. I think this is against Seattle. A full start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Now a handoff here to his running back. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36. This defense for the Broncos, they were very good last week in the win over New Orleans.
No matter what coverage was called, they were right in the hip pockets of the receivers all game long, step for step, running their routes with them. Turned out they were right there every time the ball was in the air, and they came away with 5 interceptions in that one.
From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up. From the gun, Stewart. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Here's Michael Dixon now to punt. And he punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. And a great job here. This is going to turn out to be a beauty. This is marked down at about the 3-yard line.
That is how you flip field position. That's an absolute bomb of a punt. Downs it inside the 5-yard line. Absolutely ideal.
And from that position, you're hoping to get it down inside the 15, inside the 5. Superb. From deep in their own territory, they look to throw. Under pressure, and down he goes in the end zone, and that's a safety. Well, we thought these 2 defenses, they might come to play. One has already come to play here, a safety for the opening points of the game.
Brandon, let's file this play away because if it turns out to be a tight game, who knows? This could wind up being the difference.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than... a contested ball here, and it's going to be caught. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. It's a big play there for Seattle. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. Now they try the right side here. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who can do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. Now we've got whistles and movement up front. I think this is against Seattle. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. Looking to throw. Stewart throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. So the completion good for 6 yards. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down. Operating from the gun, Stewart. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Devin Bush in there to drop him for a loss on the play. And Myers able to knock it through. So when you factor in the safety, this now a 5-point swing.
And look, I'm not going to turn away a 5-point swing because 5 points, that's valuable. Don't get me wrong on this. But if they could have taken that safety and added 7 to it, now you're talking about a really big swing.
And this will not be returned. It's a touchback, and they'll begin at the 25. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. They don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like a bases clearing double, isn't it? Give up a couple of runs.
Sure.
just messes things up for you offensively. But now they've got to go ahead, take it, set it aside, and move forward.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31.
56, the mark, boys. 56. Check 56.
On play action, they'll throw. Going up top. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And all the way home for a Broncos score. A big play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Broncos on just 2 plays have taken the lead. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good. And the lead is now 2. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. So they will accept the penalty and move forward. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 40. Now we've got whistles and movement up front. I think this is against Seattle. A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. From the gun, Stewart. Trying to get it to Jackson, and it's intercepted. It's Kyler Duggar who picks it. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown.
It goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. That's a ball he would like to have back, and it lands right in the lap of the defender. From there, he doesn't have very far to go before he gets to the end zone, and he got there in a hurry.
Extra point safely through, and that makes this a 9-point game. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. So that one will be accepted. And again this time to the tailback. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
To throw is Stewart from the gun on 3rd down. Oh, he tries to get it to Metcalf, but it's intercepted. He's picked off just shy of midfield. And they will finally get him, but not until he's all the way down inside the 15-yard line. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
Now the defense going to use the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. From the 3, 2nd and a yard. A run with a fullback. It's Ben Mason. And he'll get him a bit closer as he's down to the 2-yard line. He can muster only a yard there, and they'll be left with a 3rd and very short. Now a handoff looking right. And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. A great effort there. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Broncos are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Extra point up and through. And that could be important as that makes this a 16-point lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. It's a short kick taken out beyond the 20. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Now we've got whistles and movement up front. I think this is against Seattle. A full start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. From the gun, they'll try to run it. And he'll be stopped up at the line of scrimmage with a flag down. Let's check on the call. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Back to throw. Stewart. He fights him off, but he can't get away forever, and down he goes. The sack recorded. It's a loss of 5, and now it's 2nd down. Not the start to this one that any quarterback would want or envision. Remember, he had the pick 6, and here he ends up on his backside.
And you have to wonder to yourself, okay, after throwing the pick 6, Did he get too careful with the football and not deliver downfield and take that sack? They've got to make sure that he's really into this game.
It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to third down.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
The Seahawks on third down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 16. Looking to throw. Stewart going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. Now here's Michael Dixon as he'll punt it away for the second time. He'll send this one into the mile-high air, and it's a good one. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. And thus far, the weather has not slowed this offense down one bit. They've looked good so far in the first half.
They certainly have. And think back to our meeting with the head coach. And we asked him because we saw the forecast for this game, didn't we? We said, hey, have you prepared for this? And he talked about the different drills that they've done in adverse conditions, the wet ball drills, things of that nature. He said, I don't think it's going to slow us down much. We tend to handle it pretty well, and he's been right.
Operating from the 27 now. Here's 2nd and 3.
I can't believe they even let you play.
They'll set up to throw. Steps away. Toward the sideline. He will have the first down. Good catch. He was able to keep the feet inbounds.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Back to throw here. They'll get this to his tight end. That's Pat Freiermuth. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. It's a big play there for the Broncos.
Well, you don't have to be a genius to watch this game and figure out they've had plenty of success moving the football here in the first half. We've seen exhibits A, B, C, and right on down the line, haven't we?
Yeah, we just saw exhibit Z right there. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And he's wrapped up, taken down, back at the 25. John Franklin Myers. Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. He'll drop to throw. That's complete to his tight end, Freiermuth. They'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. Touchdown. A great play there. His 10th touchdown of the season, 2nd of the game. And the Broncos are able to widen their lead here in this first half. The point after is good. And that pushes the lead up to 23. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. From just inside the 20, a short kick. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape, up past the 30. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness. Maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Stewart now from the gun on 3rd down. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Hands it off out of the gun. And he's going to be brought down inside the 45 at the 43. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman, both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
So they decline it as that will bring up 4th.
And I know that yardage and field position are keys to any game played, but you've got to consider downs when you're talking about penalties. And they wisely did not take that one and made it 4th down.
And out of bounds, sailed over, looked like right near the pylon. This one's going to be perfect. Directional kicking at its finest, right down at the 1-yard line. Can you believe it? It's a second safety in this ball game. Well, I think you can go ahead and give your punter an assist on that one. Pinned him deep, and the defense comes through with 2 points.
You're exactly right, partner. This was all set up by a great punt, and if the ball goes in the end zone, this never happens. So great call. Give the punt team and the punter some love.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win 1st down. You win 2nd down. And guess what? You start accumulating 1st downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. And down right around the 32-yard line, 4 yards on the pickup.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did, to get them into a manageable 3rd down, because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Now Stewart on 3rd down. A 3-yard loss. 4th down now. Now here's Michael Dixon. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Broncos take over. 1st down and 10. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And with a 3-score lead already, this is not time for a momentum change, so I'd imagine they'd be happy to just take this into the locker room. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Back to throw now on first down. And he fires one that's intercepted. He's picked off at his own 46. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. This defense had 3 interceptions last week. They're on pace for more than that here. 2 in the first half.
Do not adjust your set. This is not instant replay. This is a defense that is locked in. They're essentially running the routes for the receivers and turning it into the receivers themselves, aren't they? I mean, it is amazing what I'm seeing because the reactions of those guys back on the back 7, phenomenal.
Now we've got whistles and movement up front. I think this is against Seattle. That false start costly. Moves him back to the 9 now, first and goal. Back to throw. Stewart. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Partner, this is almost an unwinnable spot for a defense. They have to come right out for a first and goal trying to stop them. But let me hold on a second. Let me take that back real quick. They can win here if they force a field goal try. Still a long ways away from that happening, but that has to be what they're thinking right now.
Myers' kick is good. And the deficit drops now from 21 down to 18. So not the greatest of first halves for him, but a little ray of light here at the end. The late turnover becomes 3 points before the break.
Well, they certainly needed something positive to go their way. Maybe 3 points doesn't seem like a huge deal in the grand scheme of things, but at least it's something to build on as they head into the half.
So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. Certainly not what they wanted out of the locker room here as they'll start defensively at the 40-yard line. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 43. And to give this time to the tailback. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he's up across midfield and down into Seattle territory. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 45 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
And to give this time to the tailback. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. Back-to-back 11-yard gains, and they've got another first down. They've got the lead early here in the third quarter, and runs like that are how they established that lead in the first half.
I love the fact that you're using the word lead because they are leading from the front, pounding on the defense right now with the running game, and truly establishing themselves here in the second half.
That's going to be caught, and he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will take it in for a Bronco touchdown. Taking it in from a yard out. And the Broncos take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. The extra point up and good. And they open the lead up now to 25. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They've got to dig down deep. I mean, they need something right now, really anything to cling on to. This offense has struggled.
Partner, join me in a walk to their locker room at the half, okay? Because I think what we would have seen is an offensive coordinator and his assistant coaches getting together with all their positions, then coming together as a group, going over adjustments, and then the head coach coming in and just screaming, wake up. Yeah. Let's get moving, guys.
I'm kind of glad we weren't in there at halftime, actually.
You think he might have turned it on us, too?
Yeah, but right now, whatever was said hasn't been working. They'll wind up losing 3 here on the play, and they'll be facing a 3rd and 12. Looking to throw. Stewart. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And the defense loses him. It's complete. And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. A big play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Seahawks are able to close the gap just a bit. Extra point up and through by Myers. And that'll cut the lead down to 18. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. Denver offense at the line, ready to go. Still operating with a comfortable lead despite the score a moment ago as they begin 1st and 10. Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Jordan Brooks with it. And a great return as he gets this all the way down close to the 30-yard line. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is a team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
And it'll be incomplete. Good job staying with it defensively. And it'll bring up 2nd down. 2nd and 10 now. 3rd quarter action in Denver. False start's going to push him back, but these days, how hard must it be to be an offensive lineman?
It's very hard, Brandon. You've got defensive linemen flinching, trying to draw you off sides. You've got the loud crowds, and there are just so many super athletic players on defense now that you have to deal with each week. But through it all, these guys just sit in there for 4 quarters and slug it out.
And they'll run on the inside handoff. And this Bronco defense really selling out to stop the run, and it pays off. They get him behind the line twice in a row. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Back to throw. Stewart. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off at the 13. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
He's going to float this one deep right side. And he's going to be intercepted for the third time thus far. Picked off near the 42. Well, this offense, they keep wanting more and more and more, but they kind of got to be careful here, CD. I mean, we're still in the third quarter. This game isn't over yet.
I would agree with you there because while they've had all kinds of success and hit on some deep balls like this, the one thing they can't do is start to get loose with the football. A lot of time left, as you mentioned, and if they keep turning it over, they'll bring them back into the game.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield after a gain of about 4.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he's going to have just a couple here with a marker on the field as well. That's Jawan Taylor, the right tackle. Well, this is where the mile-high air really starts to affect an opposing offense. Guys moving a bit slowly here. It's 3rd and long. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
And way up past the 35 before he's taken down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
They'll look to throw now on first down. And this is going to fall to the ground, incomplete. That very nearly their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Going to give this time to the tailback. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. The play-action fake. They'll look to throw. He's going to air one out. And that's caught inside the 35. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. It's a big play there for the Broncos. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. So both teams trade touchdowns, and the third as we're through 3 quarters of play. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down. And here's a handoff out of the gun. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. And this is caught for a Bronco touchdown. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Broncos are closing in on a 3rd straight win as they widen the gap further here in the 4th quarter. Point after up and good. And they open the lead up now to 25. After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. Takes it at the 7. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Throwing to start the drive. Stewart going for Metcalf on the deep ball. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Now Stewart, 2nd down. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually that becomes man on man. And you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
Here's Stewart to throw on 3rd down. Left sideline, a dive, and it looks like he's got it.
Well, this game is certainly pretty well over. They can go ahead and mark it in the win column, but as a defense, they don't want to get so soft now that everybody just throws the ball all over the place against them, gets big yardage, and puts points on the board. They have pride, too, on that side of the ball.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Back to throw again. He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. But his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off near the 29. And what a return as he brings this one all the way back to the 25-yard line. So they elect to decline it.
And why not? Just go ahead and let the play stand, and they'll take that.
So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
The Broncos on 3rd down. No problems to this point. A perfect 5 for 5. This time it's 3rd and 3. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. A great play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Broncos use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. No problem there on the extra point. And the lead will swell by 1 more. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Big mistake here by the kicker, kicking it out of bounds.
The one that drives coaches crazy. Keep it in the field of play and let your guys cover.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at the 40. A throw left side to start the drive is complete. 3 yards the gain there, second down.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Second down, here's Stewart. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty. Looking to throw. Stewart. He'll be brought down by the Broncos. It's a sack. The corner blitz gets there as he goes down for a loss of 7. After the sack, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's 2nd and a country mile. Looking deep downfield.
Yeah, he's just throwing the ball up for grabs now. Fortunately, that one going to fall incomplete. Well, we've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day.
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown. To try here for the extra point. And his kick is good, and flags fly as well. Some frustration showing through right now. This is going to be a roughing call. They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration. Not a good play.
And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. Stewart throwing after the interception. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And now here is another interception. Picked off right around the 43. CD, this defense, at this rate, they're just having fun out there right now.
And normally with this type of a lead, if you're a starter on defense, you're saying, hey, let the other guys play. But with this going on, no one wants to come out of the game. They all want their shot at picking off a pass. They are certainly not letting up on the pressure in this one. And oftentimes you hear this expression, all gas, no break from defenses. But in this case, it's the offense still throwing the football up big in the 4th quarter.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. The extra point up and good. And that will extend this big lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
Taken from about the 12. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And last time, one play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't...
And my goodness, another interception. Picked off near the 29. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 102 yards for him on the ground now, and 3 touchdowns to go along with it. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. Now it looks like he'll throw here. He's going to wind up and air it out. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off down near the 5. Now they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That was a bad play on one hand, a good play.
And Stewart lost the football. It's loose. The Broncos say they have it. They do.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget. Absolutely. And now here's a carry heading left. He's got the 1st down inside the 10. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Extra point safely through. And the lead will swell by 1 more. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point. And now here is another interception. Picked off near the 34. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Bronco defense has a touchdown. Extra point up and through. And that will extend this big lead. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Pulls it in at the 13. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. From the gun, he'll hand this off. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. Just a yard on the 1st down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back. Those are the ones you focus on and want to take away, and they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is, he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
A big offensive explosion help leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Broncos, they're on a nice early roll as they move to 3-1 with a win here. And they will hit the road next week to take on the LA Chargers. Meanwhile, for the Seahawks, they'll drop down to 1-3. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Arizona Cardinals. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.